Morning, everybody. Welcome to day 5 of our 10-day challenge in the Family Insurance Coach program. What we're going to do today is do first a little bit of recap of what we've covered in the last 4 days, and then focus on looking at how you can help your clients get a better sense of their income protection plan by, again, first looking at your own income protection plan. In this whole program, our focus is helping you look at how you can work on your own situation first, trying to help you as best as possible, the same way as any professional would. Do the work on yourself first so that you're able to then help your clients with a similar situation. So what I'm going to do is go right into today's content. And first, what we're going to look at is what we talked about in the first 4 days. So day 1, we talked about engaging clients with something that's more exciting than simply insurance bills. If all we talk to our clients about are, well, hey, you know what, you owe us money, and here's auto insurance, and here's home insurance, and here's all these different things, and they walk out with just a bunch of bills, that's not very exciting. I'm not looking to spend a lot of money on insurance, or any more than I have to, any more than you are. So what we need to do is be able to engage our clients in conversations that are more engaging, more exciting than simply what happens if really bad things happen. And oh, by the way, give us money because bad things might happen. What we want to be able to do is engage our clients in conversations about what's exciting to them, their dreams, their goals, their responsibilities, and make sure that they're able to see how we can help them protect those and make sure those happen. And so in day 1, we talked about helping ourselves first, and again, then later our clients eventually, identify what's most important and how we can make it happen. And so with those responsibilities, those goals, those dreams, how do you activate those? What do you do to make those happen? And then how do we accelerate those? How do we make those happen perhaps more quickly? Because that's something that, if there's anything we want that's a positive thing, having it happen more quickly is a good thing. And then the second part of that conversation is looking at what risks could slow down or prevent our plan from happening? What things could get in the way, throw a monkey wrench in the plan? And as we know, these are the things that really are focus of our profession. Our focus is on making sure people are protected. And so things like being unable to work can be protected with a disability income policy. Death can't be prevented, but the financial impact of death on loved ones and people who count on them can be addressed with life insurance, health insurance, proper retirement planning, liability umbrellas and other liability coverage, homeowners policies and auto policies. All of these can help protect people's dreams, their goals, and their responsibilities. So that's one way to engage our clients, is to have that conversation, whether it be with the form or without the form, remembering that some clients will respond well to a form and they'll see that as us being professionals, that we have a process, whereas others will have a mistrust of forms and think, oh, you're getting too slick with me. So we need to be able to do it either way. But again, being able to have big picture conversations that get people engaged and excited about their priorities, so it's not just about paying money and hoping they don't get into an accident or have something bad happen. In day 2, we discussed another big picture conversation, helping somebody create their financial vision. And I invited you to get clear about your financial vision by first envisioning your financial future in 3 years. The question is, what are the most important improvements you'd like to make in your insurance and financial situation over the next 3 years? Now, for everybody, this is going to be different, but the whole concept of this is getting more into the client's world, what's important to them, not just talking about what's important to us, not just talking about our products and our services and us. In fact, the last thing we want to end up mentioning is our products, not because we're trying to be slick, not because we're trying to be clever, but because the client really doesn't care. The client is focused on their vision. And if and when we can help understand what their vision is, and we can help them see how to get there, if one of our products or services aligns with that, then they're interested. Other than that, they're really not very concerned, and any more than we are in any other person's products or services, until we understand how they align with our goals and our vision and what's important to us. In the vision, some people will be able to very easily lay out or communicate what's important to them. Other people will need more help envisioning it. So we have these detailed questions. Where would you be living? Where would you be working? What would you be driving? How many hours you'd be working? How much would you be making? And so on. Questions to help the person get clear about what their vision would look like and get more in touch with that. It's really about helping a person truly envision it. If they close their eyes to really see and imagine that. And this is, again, not just something to help us close a sale. There's so much research that shows when people envision goals and then they create action plans to make them happen, and then they take action on those action plans, they are far more likely to make those goals a reality. So we want to be able to help our clients achieve. And in that process of them achieving, we're going to help them create that vision if they're open, or talk about their dreams, goals, and responsibilities if that's the better way they prefer it. And then we're going to ask them, well, tell us on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how well does your current plan address these goals? What would it take for it to be a 10? So they're going to say it's a 6 to 7. And again, right now you're just focusing on you. So you'll hear me go back and forth on that, because this is first about you as a client, you basically treating yourself as the client, doing the work on yourself, and then ultimately being able to do that for your clients. And when the client, or when you say, well, hey, here's what it needs to be a 10, that's your list. That's what they need help with. And that's what we can then ask, what do we need to look at first? On day 3, we talked about being thorough. And I mentioned to you and showed you the Insurance and Financial Priorities Review Form. This is a form that we've been using for decades, literally, to help our clients. This and forms similar to it, myself and other people, my father and some of the agents around the country were some of the first agents that helped design the State Farm Family Insurance checkup process. And I was a little computer geek that was sitting there tracking what worked and what didn't work and helping them co-create the forms. And I've been around this process. I've consulted with corporate to help them on how to do our sales processes. And so much of this is, how do you engage somebody in a way that lets them see that you're a professional, you have a process, that you're thorough, that you're just like a dentist or a doctor or any other professional is thorough in what they do, but have it not be so taxing or so boring or so detailed that the person says, wow, this is just way too much. And also not have it be so directly tied to sales that the person thinks, oh gosh, every time I check off one of these, that's going to cost me money, as opposed to just first finding out, what is it you want to see happen? And so much of this is going to be how we first present this to them and the quality of our relationship with them. But again, for ourselves, we need to first be thorough, because any coverage you don't have that maybe you should have, or any coverage that you haven't explored whether you should have, if a client needs that coverage and they haven't just outright said, hey, I need this coverage, very often you're not going to see that. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to be able to connect to that if you've not explored that coverage, seen if it's for you or not, and understood why you chose to purchase that or not. It's not that you have to buy every coverage. You might decide you don't want certain coverages, but to know why you don't have them is important. And again, to be able to be thorough with yourself and experience the completing of this form. If you're one of the agency owners, I definitely encourage you to do this as well. It's going to help you understand what we're looking to do. And ultimately, as we go into the full coaching training that relates to this, for those that are part of that, what you're going to see is you're going to want to take a lot of these processes and make them your own. You are going to want to tweak them a little bit. You're going to say, wait, I like that, but I want to do it this way. And that's something I'm going to help you do as well. So we want to be able to be thorough. And again, I encouraged you, and I do, to first look at your own situation. And then what you'll notice is that down here, and most people, over 80% of people will check off here that when they complete this, that they want to get all their available discounts. And so really the first 3 conversations were all about opening up the conversation in different styles and seeing how a client might engage. And I encourage you to not get tied to any one of those 3, but to really be open to seeing, how might your client best receive it? Because that's really sales mastery, to be able to meet the client where they're at. Now we start transitioning into, okay, we've got some ideas. If all we ever do is talk ideas, then we're not really making things happen. Now we start getting into the conversation of, how do we make this happen? And one of the most powerful things we can do is to help clients find money to be able to protect their income, their loved ones, and assets, to be able to make things possible. Because nobody really wants to take money from their lifestyle money that they enjoy and say, oh, let me take the money that I would normally be using to go out or go on a trip or travel. Let me just throw that into some insurance and hope I never need it. That's really not that exciting. I mean, even as a consumer, as somebody who's had life insurance for many years and auto insurance and all these coverages, and I've can't even remember if I might not even thinking here, don't think I've ever even had a claim. So gosh, it's really kind of like, wow, I'm putting all this money into it. But I also know if I knew I was going to need it, sure, that'd be great. But at the same time, in order for insurance to be there, it has to be invested in, and that's how the system works. So for us to be able to help our clients, we want to be able to, as we discussed, help them look at, and again, for ourselves first, what discounts could you be partaking in that you might not be receiving? And then really look at not only just the discounts, how could you manage deductibles, eliminate duplicate coverages or dud coverages to reduce your monthly expenses? How could you do a better job with how you manage your debt? Maybe you're overpaying for debt. Maybe you have a lot of credit card debt. How could you help yourself manage that? And how could you drop unimportant expenses, things like long-term cable TV contracts or different things like that, or gym memberships that you're not using to be able to free up money? We find usually it's about $175 that clients are able to find when they look into these things. And that's an average number. So we see higher and we see lower. But when a person can then see, okay, I found this money, now it's not that we're going to pounce on them and say, okay, now you got to buy a permanent life policy or whatever it is. It's going to say, okay, where would you like to invest this? Some of it might go to your current lifestyle. Some of it might go to saving for something that's fun. And then some of it might go towards protecting your income, loved ones, and assets. And so helping our clients go through that process by first, again, doing the work on ourselves. And if you haven't done those first four pieces, I really encourage you to do it. You're going to learn so much. You're going to learn what you like about the forms. You're going to learn what you don't like. You're going to learn what pieces are going to be tougher for you to have conversations around. And so now today in day 5, we're going to talk about a very simple concept called Job A or Job B. And it centers around creating your own personal income protection plan. So most people in the United States do not have adequate disability income protection. If they were unable to work, they maybe have, on average, maybe 30 days to at most 60 days of savings. And then after that, they don't have enough disability income protection to carry them forward, to keep paying their bills. So we start with a very simple question. If you were somebody making $30,000 a year, and you can use any other number, but for right now, I'm just going to use 30,000. Which job would you rather have? Job A, you make $30,000 if you're able to work. And if you're unable to work, you make $0. So you're completely out of luck. You make nothing. Job B, you make $50 less per month. So that's $50 per month times 12 is $600. So you make $29,400 per year. But if you're unable to work because of a covered illness or injury or sickness, you make $21,000. And in fact, if you structure it correctly, you actually make $21,000 and that money is not taxed. So that the $30,000 is a before tax number. Maybe you'd keep about $24,000 of that, just to use a round number of keeping 80% and paying about 20% in taxes. You'd keep $21,000 even if you're unable to work. And that's not saying you want to be unable to work. Obviously, you'd rather be healthy, because to be unable to work, especially if you're in a profession like ours, where primarily it's a desk job type of a situation. In other words, you're not a skydiver or a scuba diver or somebody that's in a really dangerous occupation or somebody that's doing physical labor. It would take a lot to be able to get injured to a point to where you're unable to work. And yet at the same time, just looking at these two, it's very clear that job B, for most people, I've never heard a person say they want job A. Job B is what most people would want. And so if a person then says that, and if we either to ourselves again right now first, just looking at that, or just even giving you a preview to the future, if we're talking to clients and say, hey, do you have some sort of income protection plan in place? Is your paycheck protected? There's different ways to open that conversation, or pivoting from the auto or the home. Then we would just say, okay, look, well, in order to see what your job A and job B would look like, I just need a little bit of information. What type of work do you do? That helps us get their occupation class for people. If you're working a desk job, if you're primarily or only just an insurance person, you're not a scuba diver, you're not a trapeze artist or anything else like that, that would be in most companies an occupation class 1, that first occupation class, the least risky. How much annual income before tax do you want to protect? What length of protection do you want for that coverage if you needed it? So Common options are 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, or to age 67. The average disability, depending on which stats you look at, is somewhere between 2 to 3 years. And on average, again, depending on what information you look at, it might be about a 1 in 3 chance that a person will experience a covered illness situation over the course of their lifetime. How long, number four, of a waiting period could you wait before coverage became available? Would you want your coverage to increase each year with cost of living if you started receiving benefits? And would you want your premiums to be as low as possible, even though they would increase every year? Or would you like to have one premium that's level over time? You know, that's the premium, it's all good. And do you use tobacco? So these questions, again, are not so much a first level conversation of, hey, what's important to you? What are your goals? What are your dreams? This is deeper down where the person's now said, yeah, this is important to me. I want to protect my paycheck. And again, in your case, I'm suggesting this is what you do, and take this information and then create your grid of what would it mean if you're able to work versus unable to work, and take a look at that for your situation and complete the form, get the quote either yourself if you're licensed to do it, or get help from your agency owner or professional in your agency to help make that happen. And the focus here is really just to make sure that you're getting the coverage you need. And again, engaging you in a conversation that you're going to need to engage with your clients if you want to really help them. So I really encourage you in all of this work. If you're a little bit behind, I've tried to slow it down so you can catch up as far as the pace we're going at. And again, I've just kept this with, as you can tell, business days, not every single day of the week. This is really the work. And I don't know how to say this in a nicer, but yet a clearer way, is to say, if you're really not willing to do this work, you're not going to be able to help your clients at a high level. And you're going to be replaced by an internet site or an imaginary gecko or a duck that goes ah, or whatever it might be. And there's nothing wrong with any of those. There's a certain level of help for clients that many of them aren't getting elsewhere. And pretty soon, more and more social influencers are going to get into the insurance business. And they're going to start telling people, hey, buy it with this company, buy it with that company. Hey, Jeff Bezos and Amazon is selling it. Go buy it there and I'll give you tickets to my concert, or whatever it might be. That's coming. It's being done in other industries already. It's coming to our industry. So we've got to be able to look at, if we want a future that goes beyond 10 years in this field, what are we doing that clients can't get elsewhere? If they can get it through an app, if they can get it through a simple recommendation, and even more so through an app, possibly the app, I mean, if I were Jeff Bezos to say, great, buy it through Amazon, we'll give you a 10% discount. We'll just cut that whole agent commission out, or a 5%, or whatever the amount is. People are going to do that. And we'll still give you the same product, by the way. It just won't be through that delivery channel. And so this is something for us to look at. And what are we offering that clients can't get elsewhere? And it all starts with doing the work on ourselves. So I try not to be confrontational with people, but I also try to be clear. This is like anything else. You know, I coach kids in soccer and volleyball, and sometimes they'll say, wait, how come I'm not better? How come I don't get better? I coach kids in basketball. Why don't I get better? Well, here's the drills. They're on YouTube, man. Follow this person, follow that person, do the drills, do the work. This is the work. And if you're going to be in a job, and you're going to be in a profession, and you're going to be working 30, 40 hours a week, or whatever the number is, why not help more people? Why not make more money? This is how you can do that. So I encourage you, if you have any questions on this, please let me know. Put them in the comment section inside the member community for the 10-day challenge. If you'd like to join the 10-day challenge, there's a link below that you can do that if you're checking this out in other areas. As always, look forward to helping you help your clients find the money to protect their income, loved ones, and assets. I look forward to helping you help more people, sell more products, and make more money. Thanks so much.